This video is brought to you by Squarespace. Whether you need a domain, website, or online store, make it with Squarespace. So I have this idea for a project, using and bending PVC pipes to make this cool light. Now, I have no idea if it actually is going to work. Matt thinks it's a bad idea, he doesn't think it's gonna work. So I thought, why don't you guys come along for the ride and let's see if I can figure this out. So the idea is this. You bend the PVC pipe all around into a circle, then you have lots of holes on it on the inside, and then within the pipe there is a lighting strip. So it kind of has this white round effect with light coming on the inside, and then it sits in some kind of wooden fixture. I'm not sure what size bit. In some ways, maybe bigger holes is cooler? Or should I do a combination? Like dun 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 dun. That looks really cool. Now, this is the tricky part. So I want to bend this PVC into a round shape. I also want a lighting strip inside. First I was thinking that I was gonna bend the PVC and then try to fish the lighting strip like around after it was bent. But after trying to get the strip into the test piece, I'm realizing that's gonna be really tricky. Try to epoxy. Bing! So I think I managed to get the light strip pretty well glued with the epoxy. Hopefully it should set in a couple of places. I'm gonna let that cure and then prepare the sand now to heat this up and shape it. The whole shape turned out like a little wonky. It's not like completely smooth and round. So the epoxy hadn't cured for 24 hours. So wondering if the sand was gonna stick everywhere inside and if it was gonna show, and it looks like a fair amount has stuck, and I'm gonna try to clean it up with water. Okay, so I got this hooked up to the power supply, so let's see what this looks like. Okay, so you can definitely see the sand in here. You can see the back of the light. So I think I'm gonna try to spray paint it and see if that will block that. So I'm not a huge fan of the way this came out, so I'm gonna redo it. First up, clean off these markings with acetone. See, I think one of the reasons why I had this kinking develop when I bent this one is because I had already drilled these holes, so it was weaker. So now I'm gonna bend it, hopefully not get any of these kinks, and then drill holes. So I think the secret to not getting any kinks when you're doing this is to just kind of let it fall on its own as it gets heated up, and then you can very slowly shape it 5 attempts later. This one is pretty perfect. So instead of just drilling on the inside, I'm drilling all over this time. I was thinking if I use fairy lights instead of an LED strip, then I don't get that harsh back, and maybe it will be kind of a softer light. So let's check that out. Ooh. Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. Now, the question I'm thinking about is whether to keep this white or to spray paint it like a metallic color, like an oil rubbed bronze or something like that. Or should I just keep it white? I don't know, bronze may look cool too. So, depending which one to use. Option 1. I mean, it looks cool too. Maybe this looks cooler though, huh? So for a holder for this pipe, I'm gonna use a nice piece of oak here. So I'm gonna drill an angled hole this way, an angled hole this way, and hopefully just sit this down. So block is cut up. I want to embed one of these little micro USB connectors in the bottom here, and that way I can just connect the fairy lights to that and then plug in a separate power source. So first of all, I cut the battery pack off the fairy lights, and now I'm going to connect that to this little micro USB connector. It's a female connector. Here is soldered to a 10 ohm resistor because I checked how much the lights needed. That way I can connect this to any 5 volt power source and embed it in here. So next step is epoxying the PVC to the wood. Let's go outside for that. So here we go, nice and stable. And now I want to just finish this with some shellac and wax polish and put some leather on the bottom. Okay, and I found a scrap piece of leather here that I'm going to use just to cover the bottom. Okay, so here we go. I think this turned out pretty cool. Now, it was a lot easier working with the fairy lights as opposed to the LED strip, just because you don't have that back to consider, and it was also easier to put it all through. In terms of the color, I think the oil rubbed bronze looks pretty neat, because it actually looks like a metal pipe. Although I do like the white too, so I could really have gone either way there. So this was definitely really a fun project. I love that you can bend PVC in all sorts of shapes and create something like this. I think that is just really cool. And the reason why I cut off the battery pack for the fairy lights was because I didn't want to have to hide that big pack in the bottom here. Besides, if you use a rechargeable power source like this one, which is 5 volt, I mean, you don't have to change the batteries. You can literally just recharge this and then you can keep it. So this would be great as a night light, I think, or just as an accent light. Either way, there's lots of different places for something like this. I think this was a success. I'm gonna call it a success. What do you guys think? And talking about success, one thing I find very important is to have a nice website, and I'm so happy to be working with Squarespace on this video because their support enabled me to create these types of projects and videos for you guys, and well, for me too, because I just love doing them. But anyway, Squarespace is a really cool system if you're looking to create a new website. It's what I've been using for years, and it's great no matter whether you want to sell products or collect photos and videos of your projects like a portfolio, which is something I think every maker would enjoy because it is nice to keep track of everything you've done and use it as a way to publicly display your work. Now, Squarespace features an all-in-one platform which is very easy to use. They have a ton of beautiful templates to choose between. They offer 24/7 customer support, and they make it really easy to set up or transfer your domain. I use their system all the time to manage my shop and website. So if you're looking to get started in this new year and finally get that website going, then head to squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/Darbin Orvar to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain. Did you enjoy this kind of follow along process? Let me know. It is a little bit different from what I normally do in my videos, so I thought I would try something that was apart from the normal. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below, and thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye!